Season in the history of this NASCAR Euro Series. Every champion we crown will certainly be deserving. For Thomas Chrysonis, off the back of an overall win in the race yesterday, he is within striking distance of claiming the crown in the overall contendership, but there's more than that to fight for here today at Zolder. We are sure for a thrilling conclusion to the Open Division season. With a near insurmountable lead, 45 points. All he really needs to do is get to the line. We have one car slowing down out there on circuit already, the number 48 in troubles, and certainly troubles can hit here at Zolder quite quickly. It's a circuit with a lot of overtaking opportunities, but also a lot of opportunities for drama, and that makes it a highly intriguing stage for the season finale.
For more than a decade, the sacred lands of Zolder have been hosting the pinnacle of NASCAR in Europe. Legends have risen. Heroes have fallen. Friends and foes meet here again. But only one driver can raise the trophy. There can be only one NASCAR Euro Series champion.
So then the cars are now on the grid. As you can see, lots of energy down there on the grid. Let's see what the energy's like for the current champion, at least for now, Martin Dubeck.
Martin, last race of an exciting season, another front row start. The championship, I think it's gone, to be honest. But still, you're smiling. It was a decent season so far. How do you going to enjoy this last race?
For sure, I want to enjoy it as maximum as I can. The championship is done, so Thomas for sure will be the champion, and I hope that I will be the second. Let's see what happened there after the start, but I think that we will enjoy it with Thomas together. We already spoke together that we are not going to do any fight hard, so we want to enjoy it, and I really enjoyed all the season. Okay, we don't have another title, but we will have another chance next year.
Are you going to be at the party this evening, the season-ending party?
Yes, of course.
Then we meet each other there again, at the podium and then at the party. By the way, Adam, I had a really cool thing. Jean Galpin, the father of Jérôme Galpin, took me for a ride in the Corvette, in the wheel and lead car a few seconds ago. It was just amazing.
Okay, are you trying to make me jealous? Good stuff, yeah, the Corvette C7 that often leads the cars around the circuit. Good to hear there from Martin Dubeck in the number 7 car. He seems to be pretty aware that the championship now might be out of reach, with 6 wins for Chrysonis this year coming into this race. It has been a dominant season from the Greek, and let's go down there now actually to see how he's feeling.
I will not congratulate you right now. Still you have to start the race, still you have to finish, and then we can talk about the championship. But how are you going to enjoy those last laps of the 2025 season?
Well, it's been a very long season. It's been competitive, it's been nice. I think it's the one season that I can say I was most consistent, because it's not fair to say that I am the best. You know, it's not a nice word, because the others also fight, and I think also there were some inconsistencies on their part. So I think like the top 3 of the championship was pretty equal this year. I mean, the difference was on the details. I basically top up the game on the semi-finals. That was the key, I think, for this season. So yeah, we just focus. I mean, congratulations to everybody on the grid. It was a very nice, season 2025. I hope everybody will enjoy the last race and that we will have fun. I really don't want to see crashes, because there is no point now, and I just want to have a nice battle with the top 3 of the championship, how it was the whole season. I think Bruno, Martin, we can put on a good show for to close the open title this year.
I already asked Martin one question. Will you be at the season-ending party at the end tonight as well?
Well, I have to, because I didn't go to any party, and he's threatening me to drink beers and things like this. So okay, we have to drink some. So yeah, I will be on the party to see how much he's drinking, because he's speaking a lot that he can drink a lot. But I don't know, I'm not so sure. We will see tonight. Yeah.
I will be there as well.
You will invite me for a party.
Right, Adam, it's already party time here in Zolder. Back to you.
I've looked at the regulations while he was talking there, and the rule is beer for everyone else and shots for the champion. So, Thomas, if it is you at the end of all of this, you have responsibilities to adhere to here. No, really nice to see that camaraderie on the front row between what is most likely the outgoing champion in Martin Dubeck and Thomas Chrysonis, who is within touching distance, just needs to get some laps in. Bruno Mulders is 3rd place. Let's go down to him.
You're still fighting for something. The championship may be decided. Thomas Chrysonis, it looks really good that he's the champion, but you're fighting for the Master Trophy. How are you going to beat Toma Dombrowski and Sandro Tavatkiladze?
Well, I'm going to start with trying to stay in front of them, I think, and then I have a tiny margin to Thomas, and I don't know what the gap is to Sandro, but I will just try my best, do the same thing as I do every race, and stay focused.
How was your first NASCAR Euro Series season before the last race? When you sum it up, how was it? How did you enjoy it?
It flew by, but it's been a great year. I've enjoyed all the people, everyone I've met here on the grid, and it's been a really great learning experience as well.
All right, thank you so much. National anthems now.
Voor het Amerikaanse volkslied ter ere uiteraard van de NASCAR ontstaan in de Verenigde Staten en natuurlijk het Belgische volkslied. We zitten op.
So then, the anthems are complete. We're in the final minutes before the stromwatches.com countdown to command ticks down to 0. And for Thomas Chrysonis, every passing minute, I think, will increase just the feeling on his shoulders that it's so close. He knows he doesn't have to fight particularly hard for this championship, but he does know that he needs to make it through those first corners, get some laps on the board to be classified as a finisher in the race. To my understanding, all you have to do effectively is start the race, or at the very least complete one lap to be registered as part of the race. Thomas Chrysonis then with a 45 point championship lead over Martin Dubek. Bruno Mulders, as you can see, isn't a million miles away. If he can take a win today, that would possibly give him a chance at second in the overall championship, as well as that Master Trophy lead that he holds by only 8 points over Thomas Dombrowski. Sandro Tabat-Kalatza is in 5th position ahead of Legend Trophy leader Melvin de Groot in 6th position. Patrick Schauber in 7th place after the unfortunate outing he had yesterday. Claudio Capelli, Dominic Schack and Jill Linster round out the top 10, while Happy Nessa leads in the Lady Trophy division. So then we are less than 5 minutes away from the command being given. As always, a couple of our marshal posts are very excited by all the pre-race festivities, but yesterday we had some truly thrilling battling out on the circuit in the NASCAR Euro Series, and for next year we'll make sure the marshals get orange pom-poms because they clearly want to join in with the professionals down on the grid. I think we're now going to have a look at some highlights.
Drivers, start your engine.
is a great launch from Vittorio Garelli, perhaps as scheduled. Oh no, Bruno Mulders loses it into the first corner. He's collected Paul Duke. A good start from Chrysonis to my eye as he approaches the first corner with maybe a little bit of a bump draft from Dombrowski. Oh, but Toffel overcooks it into the first corner and he spins out. And Toffel will be hugely frustrated. He's going to have to work all the way from the back. It's Chrysonis well clear at the front of the field. Bruno Mulders in second position. Dombrowski third. They're in seventh place and leading Legend Trophy, but only just. He's got Claudio Remeggio Capelli right there with him. Capelli has a look to the inside, as does Dubek.
Therefore, Martin Dubek will try to maximize the results, and now he has a chance to pass Jill Insta on the outside of turn one. Really strong move there from Martin Dubek.
As we now see Tavat Kalatsa getting by Linster as well. Oh, Thomas Toffel. Thomas is having a rough one here today. They string back out again. Martin Dubek, just before the full course yellow, had started to set some really good lap times in clear air. Here comes Dubek to the inside line, going into Boulderberg Bocht. He's got the inside and he's got third position. Capelli and de Groot have been fighting this one out for an overwhelming majority of the race, and still the number 5 driver fancies his opportunity. And into second place has gone Martin Dubek. Meanwhile, our championship leader puts himself within touching distance of the title in the open division. Congratulations. So then we come out of Saturday with a heavy favourite in the Pro Division in the form of Vittorio Garelli, and a near certain champion in the form of Thomas Chrysonis. For PK Carsport, of course, that's both of their drivers, and they would be so excited to be lifting all of the gold here on their home turf in Belgium at Zolder. And with a minute until the command is given, you can see the focus in the eyes of Thomas Chrysonis. He is feeling perhaps some pressure, but this is going to be a very, very comfortable way, potentially, as comfortable as it could be without sewing up the championship the day before. He knows that the result doesn't really matter as long as he keeps that car clean in the early stages of the race. We have 30 seconds until the command is given. It is going to be given by this man, Tristan Dams of Whelan, a local dealer for the Belgium region. Let's hear from him.
Jij gaat de magische woorden zeggen die de motoren gaat laten brullen. Ga je gang, Tristan.
Drivers, start your engines.
So then the command has been given, thanks to our Grand Marshal, Tristan Dams, for giving us the invocation, giving us the engines firing into life, and the cars are now going to roll down the main straight for one final time. The formation lap will begin. We'll read you through the grid just as soon as these cars are rolling. And there was a shake of the head there. Was that trophy not meant to wait there for quite as long as it did? We'll rescue the trophy and then we'll get to the formation lap. A really compelling front row of the grid for this race, and a really compelling battle beyond the championship lead as well. Bruno Mulders has the opportunity here to claim vice championship status if he can get around Martin Dubek, and particularly if he could win today's race. I think that would put him in good stead, good shape to potentially win the vice championship status, to come second in the championship, and that would be massive for Mulders in his debut season. But Dubek holds that position for now. Thomas Chrysonis then leading from pole position. Martin Dubek alongside him in second place. Mulders on row 2 in third place. In fact, that's the same order as the top 3 in the championship. Thomas Toffel, always a danger man, always one to watch in wheel-to-wheel situations. From fourth on the grid, he'll be looking for a podium. Sandro Tabat-Kilatsa and Thomas Dombrowski on row 3 of the grid, followed by Jill Linster and Melvin de Groot on row number 4. Row 5, RDV competitions. Patrick Schauber is alongside Claudio Remeggio Capelli. Andres Beers and Valentino Gambarotto share row 6. Row 7 of the grid will be Davide Frulio alongside Dominic Schack. Nick Strickler set to line up 15th alongside Florian Richard. Mikael Blakemolen, P17 alongside Reza Sardeha, although we saw that 48 car limping around the circuit on the sighting lap on the way to the grid earlier. So hopefully the 48 is there. I can't actually see it in the pack. There it is, just behind the pink highlighted 76 car. So Reza's car is okay. Row 10 of the grid, Francesco Leogrande and Hapinessa. And then in 21st and 22nd places, Sven Van Laar and Valerio Marzi. Hopefully we have all 22 cars there out on the circuit. Then didn't look like we had any gaps in the grid. It has been a thrilling season in the open division. It's been a season where Thomas Chrysonis has certainly been the standout performer. And it all comes down to this. I think Andre is with us in the box now. Andre, we're moments away from the last race of the season in Open. It's flown by this season. I'm very much looking forward to one last dance.
Yeah, definitely. You start the season, then you think, oh, it's so long time until October, but then it flew by that fast. And to be honest, it's just a snap with the finger and we're back in Valencia. And I'm really looking forward to this already in 2026. But first of all, let's complete the 2025 season in Open. You said it, one last dance. I think the championship is decided. Thomas Chrysonis will take the green flag. He will finish this race and then he's going to be the champion. But we have still some battles to take a look at. For example, the Master Trophy. Like I said during the interview with Bruno Mulders, there's a battle going on for the Master Trophy with Mulders, Dombrowski and Sandro Tabat-Kilatsa, but now we have the race start.
For the last time in 2025, we approach the wheel and start zone and we go racing in the open division of the NASCAR Euro Series, and into the first corner we go. Oh, there's already contact. Thomas Dombrowski tagged by Jill Linster there, and Dombrowski is off the circuit. Martin Dubek is into the race lead. He held the outside around turn 1. That becomes the inside line for turn 2, and Dombrowski's car a little bit second hand. That's not going to be a good sight for anyone at PK Car Sport. Never mind his pro colleague Vittorio Garelli, who needs that car in good shape for the Pro Division finale later on in the day. But it's Dubek who leads. He wants to end the season on a high, knowing that the championship is effectively taken from his grasp for this year. Oh, and the 21 car's bonnet goes up. Nick Strickler is running blind up the crest. That is hugely uncomfortable for the American driver. He must have been involved in some contact on the first lap as well. Either that or the bonnet pins have failed him. Either way, he's having to rely on memory and perhaps hanging his head out of the window slightly through the first lap. He's doing a good job, quite frankly, of managing that circumstance on the first lap of the race. But drama already. Thomas Dombrowski will be so disappointed as we see the 75 of Davide Frulio stopped as well. But Andre, in terms of the battle for third in the championship, in terms of the battle for the Master Trophy, the issues on the first lap for the 24 car, critical for Dombrowski.
Yeah, definitely. So Dombrowski is out of the race for the Master Trophy. So we have Mulders and Tabat-Kilatsa left in the Master Trophy battle. The cars now approaching turn 1 again. Dubek, Chrysonis, Toffel, Mulders, Tavatkiladze, Gambarotto. He had also a moment in the first chicane, but got the car straight. But now we have Gambarotto off track.
Gambarotto doing well to keep the car at least in the right direction, but a dramatic opening stanza to this race. You see there Dombrovski's car pulled up. We've got some debris down as well coming out of turn 4. Oh, and Martin Dubek picks that up. It looks to be fairly lightweight, maybe even just a plastic bag or something like that, but I think it's now been removed. The incident at turn 1 is under investigation, perhaps unsurprisingly. But look at the top 4. The first 2 rows of the grid have been unaffected by everything. The order has changed, but the top 4 cars are still spick-span, clean and ready to go racing. But for Bruno Mulders, he'll be disappointed that he didn't make upward progression. I imagine Thomas Chrysonis, yes, is disappointed that he's not leading this race from pole, but for him, he knows he's doing more than enough just by getting to the end of the first lap. He knows that it is now in his back pocket, the overall title in the Open Division. Lux Motorsport going to work, meanwhile, with the tape on Nick Strickler's car. I can only imagine how terrifying that was the moment the bonnet went up.
Yeah, especially when you head into this fast chicane. And then you don't have any visibility left in this moment. Really crazy situation. Dubek has a comfortable lead now over Thomas Chrysonis, and he's under pressure by Thomas Toffel for second place. Bruno Mulders also there involved in the battle for podium positions. Tavatkiladze still in 5th, and gaining ground is also Patrick Schober in the 3-car of RDV competition, the number 3, now in 6th position ahead of Andres Beers. Claudio Capelli holds the lead in the Legend Trophy ahead of Valentino Gambarotto. The Road, who should clinch the Legend Trophy title today, is in 10th ahead of Florian Richard, Valerio Mazzi, Dominic Schaak, and then Leo Grande, Blakemo and Van Laere. Happy Nessa Strickler in the pit lane because of the bonnet, and then we have Linster also in the pit lane and out of the race, Thomas Dombrovski. Those are the 30 cars at the moment in the tower, and I think right now we are in the typical rhythm of an open race. Oh, and I saw that one of the drivers now had a moment in the chicane. It was the 55 car Valerio Mazzi. This first chicane, it's quite tricky. Strickler also cutting it right now. So I'm doing a little bit of NASCAR Euro Series radio at the moment, but I was just glued with my eyes to that chicane, and there were a lot of people having trouble.
Yeah, exactly. The first chicane is a particular black spot for just getting the car stopped, getting it rotated from the first apex. More times than not, it's under rotation that causes them to cut that chicane. We saw that Strickler is back out there with a taped up hood. He's ready to go and back out there, but albeit a lap down. And as you alluded to, Jill Linster still in the pits. I doubt we'll see that car back out there. But Martin Dubek leading the way by 1.2 seconds. He was just a couple of hundredths faster on the previous laps than Thomas Chrysonis, but that's all he needs. He just needs to manage that gap and try and claim himself another win, and with it making sure that he at the very least claims that second place in the championship standings coming out of today. At the moment, Mulders is doing more than enough as well to be the Master Trophy champion, but I think part of him would like to be second in the overall proceedings as well. But he's going to have to get through Toffel, he's going to have to get through Chrysonis, and he's going to have to get through Dubek to make that happen. Toffel to the inside line as they go to the first chicane, and I think Chrysonis there making that easy. He knows he doesn't have to fight particularly hard. He knows he doesn't have to deal with low percentage moves today. He just needs to get to the checkered flag to offer up the car to, well, himself in the Pro Division later on cleanly for a nice run to the flag there where he hasn't got championship pressures. But here in the Open Division, I think it's well worth him just keeping that car clean. And goodness me, well, that's the opposite of a clean car. Jill Linster back out there on the circuit. No, it's not the Whelen Modified Series, but the NASCAR Euro Series cars slightly disassembled in the case of Jill Linster, but getting it back out there on the circuit. I think Bruno Mulders will have taken note there of how easy it was for Toffel to get around Chrysonis, and he'll be thinking the opportunity could beckon for him as well. Toffel there was a bit wide going into the penultimate corner, wasn't he, Andre? And that actually gives an opportunity for Chrysonis to try and fight back.
Yeah, but he's not close enough on the back bumper of Thomas Toffel to make a move here in turn 1. We have the incident in turn 1 during the start investigated after the race, so there may be penalties coming after the checkered flag. But I think Crasones, yes, he made it easy for Thomas Toffel to get past him, but if he sees an opportunity to get the second position back, he's going to go for it. Maybe not with full risk, but still he wants to get the maximum points and another nice trophy that he brings to, or will bring to Greece after this, of course, after this event. As the champion of the Open division, now Mulders trying to make a move on Thomas Crasones. So they played fair, but still we have intense battles here, Adam.
We absolutely do, yeah. It's great to see that we're going to end this season with another thrilling race in the Open division. A couple of the very best races we've seen in recent years have come this year in the Open division specifically. It's been a real treat, the class of 2025 in the NASCAR Euro Series Open division. Drivers like Mulders coming in, of course, the Georgian team coming in, Tavat Kilatsa representing them there, and then the established names like Dubek, like Toffel, like Schauber, like Claudio Remeggio Capelli and Melvin de Groot have all been very, very fun to watch as well in this season. For Dubek, this is exactly the kind of race he likes to have, getting to the front and staying there, and that's what he's doing for now. 2.5 seconds clear of Toffel, who was actually fractionally quicker on the previous lap, a 1:38.511, the best lap of anybody out there last time by. So Toffel has a bit of pace. He's certainly going to be working at the wheel to try and catch up with 10 laps to go. He needs to be slightly more than a tenth a lap quicker to get to Dubek, but he's going to give it everything he can, I'm sure, because Toffel is one of those drivers, along with the likes of Patrick Schauber, who this year hasn't really had the luck and has often ended up caught up in incidents, whether it's their own fault or not. And for Toffel, I think ending the season with a win would be a huge boost ahead of his future plans in 2026.
Yeah, definitely. Thomas Toffel yesterday, he had a really, really bad day in both divisions. He was penalized for that contact with Bruno Mulders in the Pro division that took out Paul Geoffroy in the championship battle, and in the Open race he also had a couple of spins. So yesterday was a really bad day for Toffel, and I think now he wants to show that he has the potential, and we know that there is a lot of potential in the car and also in the skills of Thomas Toffel, but he needs to find more consistency and especially keep out of trouble. I think that's the main goal for 2026, because the pace is there, but now he just needs to find the consistency and stay out of trouble. And I think today in both divisions Thomas Toffel is trying to show exactly that he's capable of managing a race properly.
Yeah, exactly correct. So then we cross the line and it's another 3/10 taken out of the lead by Toffel, so he's on the charge. The slightly damaged car of Claudio Remeggio Capelli leading in Legend Trophy. The Legend Trophy battle is technically still open, mathematically speaking, but Claudio Remeggio Capelli would need a bad race for Melvin de Groot, and Melvin is right there behind Claudio, so that's not happening at the moment. They had a fabulous dice all throughout the race yesterday, of which Melvin de Groot came out on top of, which was a critical scenario for him to make sure that he boosted his hopes in the championship battle. You can see a lot of cars there in the middle of the top 10 with damage, and unfortunately Happy Nessa with big damage. That looks to me like perhaps there isn't a tyre there on the left corner of the rear axle. Certainly. Oh dear. Okay, well, the tyre stack has gone for a burden. Oh, just losing it at the worst time under braking, and that's a heavy impact for Nessa. Oh dear. Well, the tyre is still there, the wheel is still there, but instant deflation as the side takes the brunt of the impact there. That's why we're under full course yellow, and that's certainly not how Happy Nessa would have wanted to end her season.
Yeah, definitely not. It wasn't her weekend. Yesterday she was already involved in a couple of spins without any contact with other drivers. It's a tough track, Zolder, especially for rookies. And yeah, today she has to end the race early because of this incident, and it was a heavy impact, and hopefully the car can be prepared for the pro race because Julian Rebeck is still trying to get into the top 10 there in the overall classification. So yeah, this is the thing about sharing one car in the NASCAR Euro Series. There's always the risk that the driver you share the car with has an accident. And here with Vanessa, and we hope, of course, that she's okay. That's the most important part, because a car can be repaired. Hopefully she is not in a bad condition there health-wise. We have to take a look at this. This is the most important thing, that she's okay.
Yeah, no, absolutely right. As we can, I think, now take a look at the start while we're under full course yellow. And, oh, that was a violent hit, wasn't it?
Yeah.
From the back of, or to the back of Dombrowski's car from Linster. Fairly heavy contact between the two parties, and hopefully that number 24 car isn't excessively damaged going into the pro race. We're back to green flag conditions, and you see there Patrick Schauber getting a good launch. He's right there behind Sandro Tavad-Kilatsa, and there's going to be a position switch here with Gambarotto potentially looking around the outside of Melvin de Groot, but can't quite get it done, or does he? Because de Groot runs it wide out of the first corner, has the inside now for turn 2. Gambarotto tries to cut back. Is he going to get to the inside for turn 3? It's going to be a squeeze, but de Groot just about holds on there. Lovely driving from Team Blake Molen's friendly Dutch giant. Holds on to P8 for the time being, of course. Looking to get to the flag here first and foremost to make sure that Legend Trophy goes home with him, but he's still going to have some fun with it in the heat of battle in the last race of the season.
And it's so interesting, in my opinion, those two contenders for the Legend Trophy, because they really are the typical gentleman driver you find in racing. For example, Claudio Capelli, a roofer in his daily job. He has also a drag racing bike. He's an adrenaline junkie, but daily base, a roofer. Then we have Melvin de Groot, who's managing a recycling company, an international recycling company, and with his family, he's producing wine. So this is exactly the kind of gentleman drivers we want to have and want to see in open. Racing enthusiasts over 45 years of age, battling in those pure racing machines. And both of them, they are so strong. They already won races in Open. You see that the Open Championship is the perfect home for gentleman drivers, but also young talent like Bruno Mulders and the others we have here. But that's exactly why this championship was designed, to give people like Capelli and Melvin de Groot a perfect playground to race on a high level.
Yes, and if you're watching at home and you're thinking, whether you're under 45 or over 45, whether you're thinking, I'd like a piece of this one day, keep an eye on the NASCAR.eu website to see what the news is, because we typically have recruitment tests and off-season opportunities to try the car and see if it's for you. So do keep an eye on the website for more information to maybe join us on the 2026 grid. While that's going on, Sandro Tavad-Kilatsa and Patrick Schauber having a battle here for 5th overall. Patrick Schauber, the Austrian racer, of course, for RDV competition, has not really shown the potential that we know him to have on many occasions this year. It's often not been his own fault, but one way or another it's just not worked out for him this season. Yet to claim a win, is unlikely to do it from his position in this race. Also good to see there, was that Thomas Dombrowski out on the circuit? No, sorry, that was Martin Dubek leading the field. For a minute there I thought we had Dombrowski back out on circuit making sure the 24 car was okay, but not the case. It's Dubek leading the field by a couple of seconds. I think that gap might have shrunk again as they come across the start-finish line. In fact, no, it's grown. Thomas Torfel a couple of tenths off the boil there over Martin Dubek. So we'll see how that fluctuates on the next lap. Time is running out for Dubek. Time is running out for everyone in battles like this one for 5th position. We've got 6 laps of the race left to run.
Yeah, and Patrick Schauber, he's on a charge. Now he's at the back bumper of Sandro Tavad-Kilatsa. Team Georgia back with Marco Stipp Motorsport here at Circuit Zolder as the technical partner. They started the season in Valencia together. Then Team Georgia went to RDV competition and now they are back with a technical alliance with Marco Stipp, and to be honest, it works. Sandro Tavatkiladze really strong this weekend, as well as David Kajaya in the Pro Division, and Sandro Tavatkiladze will now do everything he can to maintain the top 5 position, but he has Patrick Schober behind him, a proven open race winner, a driver with a lot of skills, especially while overtaking the Austrian born in Spain who's living in Slovakia. Really international guy, Patrick Schober, young guy, amazing family. He's doing a lot of work besides racing on a racetrack at Slovakia Ring, but also at the Red Bull Ring. He dedicated his whole life to racing. So if you want to see a young guy making a career in racing, Patrick Schober is one to follow on social media.
I do wonder if he was at the Red Bull Ring on the day where there was a Trackhouse next-gen car recently. We'll have to ask him about that one of these days. Was it Mike Mad Mike Widett who was having a go? I think it might have been. 5 laps left in this motor race then in the NASCAR GP Belgium for the Open Championship. If you're just joining us, Thomas Chrysonis effectively has the championship sewn up at this stage, not just because he's in 3rd position, but even just by virtue of making it through the early laps, doing enough to be classified as a point scorer. Chrysonis, the Greek driver, will be champion once we cross the start-finish line. The number 5 car, Claudio Remigio Capelli, with a 5-second penalty for a 10-second penalty, sorry, for an avoidable collision. So that is a drama for the number 5 driver. Don't know where that contact happened. I don't think it was first corner, first lap. That looked to be more of a Jill Linster incident, but either way, he's had contact somewhere and he's being penalised for it. Meanwhile, with less than 4 laps to go, the gap fractionally down the previous time between Dubek and Teufel, but I think Teufel has to worry a bit more here about holding on to 2nd place with Chrysonis, with Mulders both behind him. I think as much as he'd like to be focusing forward, he actually has to keep an eye on the mirrors.
And here we see a lot of cars already in a used condition. The number 21 of Nick Strickler, the Lux Motorsport car, and the 22 car was also leaning a little bit of Leo Grande. The front bumper not aligned perfectly anymore. Thomas Teufel now under pressure by Thomas Chrysonis. Bruno Mulder still in 4th place, but yeah, I think that Thomas Chrysonis maybe managed a little bit the tires right now, and maybe he gets a shot to get that 2nd place back.
Yeah, certainly looks like Teufel is having to fight the car a little bit more. He's always got a somewhat more aggressive driving style, I would say, than Chrysonis, but in particular at the moment in some of the braking zones, it looks like he's having to do more at the wheel. Last lap was the fastest of the race for anybody from Thomas Chrysonis, so he is looking at maybe trying to get through to 2nd place in the late stages. He's probably conferred with the team and said, I'm right in thinking that I can have a go at 2nd place and not end up losing the championship if it goes wrong. They've probably confirmed that, and we'll have to see if Chrysonis does have a go at Teufel here. Bruno Mulders continues to lead in Master Trophy. That's going to net him that championship ahead of Sandro Tavatkiladze. Legend Trophy, of course, being led by Claudio Remigio Capelli in 7th overall, but Melvin Groot is on the path to that championship, running 2nd in class at the moment. On the previous lap, Mikael Blekemolen made it past Francesco Leo Grande, and that's going to put him up onto the Legend Trophy podium if he remains in that place, up to 14th overall and 3rd in the Legend Trophy class.
4 laps to go. You know what time it is. I'm going to head down to victory lane right now. We're going to welcome, of course, the race winner, but also the champion of the 2025 season in the Open Division, and that's the 13 car of PK Car Sport. Thomas Chrysonis, the Greek warrior, will win the championship, and I'm really curious what they're going to have to say. And also, I'm going to welcome all the trophy winners. See you soon. See you later.
Yeah, lots of trophies to hand out down there. We look forward to seeing you down there, Andre. Really interesting there to see that onboard shot going into the final chicane just a few corners ago. Really kind of showed how Chrysonis went down the gears and seemed to not have to apply too much pressure to get the lever forward with the sequential gearbox from Samsonas. If you look at some of the earliest sequential racing gearboxes that ran in tin top cars. I'm thinking back to the GT1 era of racing, and especially going into the 2000s when the GT2 cars became the new lead class in GT racing. Those sequential boxes required a lot of effort and a lot of force to go up and down the gearbox. It looked like the Samsonis unit that we run here in the NASCAR Euro Series rather more refined than anything like that. Watch him as he goes down the gears here, having to apply some pressure, yes, of course, but he does have it relatively easy there compared to what I've seen in some other cars with sequentials over the years, particularly back in the day. It's such a cool visual just seeing him work the gearbox going into the corners. He's working the back of Thomas Teufel for now in this battle for second place. Teufel, I think, has given up on the dream of chasing down Martin Dubek. Dubek just set the fastest lap of the race, a 1:38.433. He's expertly going about controlling this race from the front of the field. Of course, he took the lead between turns 1 and 2 at the very start of the race. It has been sublime work from Martin Dubek to this point. Just 2 tours, 1.5 tours at this point left of the Circuit Zolder between himself and a final victory of the season. But for Thomas Chrysonis, crossing the line will be confirmation of a really hard-fought championship, a championship that has been a long time coming for Thomas Chrysonis. He's done a number of years in this NASCAR Euro Series paddock. And this is going to feel like the culmination of an incredible journey that's really only come into warp speed in recent times. The last 18 months to a year of Thomas Chrysonis has seen a huge amount of development, and now he's practically 1 lap away from winning his first Euro NASCAR title. Out of Boulderberg box he goes then, chasing Thomas Teufel every inch of the way at the moment. His first season in the NASCAR Euro Series came in 2019. He's been working at this for a long, long time. And he's now taking the PK car, sport car, into the first corner for the final lap of the race. It's Martin Dubek that leads the way by 2.2 seconds over Thomas Teufel, who is feeling the pressure from Chrysonis, but keeping himself there in second place. Bruno Mulders running a fairly calm race there in 4th position. Hasn't quite got the pace to get involved for the podium proceedings, but has enough over Tavat Kalatsa to hold strong in P4. Patrick Schauber is still trying to look at the opportunity to move into the top 5, but he's some 3/4 of a second back from Tavat Kalatsa at the line. Doesn't look likely to happen for him. Your top 10 beyond Tavat Kalatsa, Patrick Schauber 6th, Capelli leading Legend Trophy in 7th, De Groot, Gambarotto and Andres Beers, your top 10. Good run to the last checkered flag of the year for Beers. He'd certainly love to finish in the top 10 on home turf. Well, the final corners await now. The penultimate braking zone of the lap is here at Boulderberg Box. Chrysonis following Thomas Teufel home. But in terms of the championship point standings, he will be following no one. For PK Carsport, for Alan Day, the driver coach of Thomas Chrysonis, seeing this ascendancy has been a thrill and a point of pride. And the Greek racer is going to do it in the championship. In the race, it's Martin Dubek who claims the final checkered flag of the year ahead of Thomas Teufel. But it's Thomas Chrysonis who is the 2025 NASCAR Euro Series Open Division champion. The Greek racer has stuck with it, stayed strong and developed into a leading talent in the NASCAR Euro Series. The journey has paid off and the ultimate destination will be the top step of the championship podium. You can see what it means to Thomas Chrysonis. He's smiling, he's crying. Every emotion in the book He will be quick, of course, to thank his sponsors down there, his Costamare Dodoni sponsorship that he always shouts out. His partners have supported him on this journey to glory. PK Carsport, their first season together with Chrysonis, have done a great job giving him the tools he needed, and he has executed to perfection. A season where he's taken 6 race wins. There can be no denying that he was the driver of the season in the NASCAR Euro Series Open Division. Racing sometimes doesn't go your way, and sometimes in racing, the driver of the season doesn't end up with the highest points tally. But for Thomas Chrysonis, it has all worked out, and he is a deserving champion in the NASCAR Euro Series Open. Of course, with all that pressure relieved, he can now look ahead to the pro race a little bit later on and consider that a recreational opportunity for one last race. And good to see Happinessa there. She's doing just fine watching the final race of the season. She would rather, of course, have taken the checkered flag herself, but all the same, she will be absolutely delighted to see everyone getting to the checkered flag, and she, of course, will be celebrating the Lady Trophy title as well. So our congratulations to Happinessa in the Master Trophy. It will be Bruno Mulders who also takes 3rd overall in the championship. Bruno Mulders will be your champion in Master Trophy, and in Legend Trophy it will be Melvin de Groot who is the newest champion there, continuing a great run of form in the Open Division over the years. Of course, this season his best of all, given that he has run to a 1st overall race victory this year. For Martin Dubek, it was a great season too. In lesser years, he would have been champion with the performances he's had. But this year, with Chrysonis being quite so quick and quite so victorious, it wasn't to be. But it's a 4th win of the season for Martin Dubek. That was, I think, Liam Hazeman's just popping in to congratulate him. Vice Championship in 2025, and I'm sure one of the first things he's going to say to Andre down there is, I want to make it a 3rd championship win in 2026. But for now, he can celebrate a win on the Circuit Zolder at the circuit that is the closest to home for his Hendricks Motorsport team. It will be a very meaningful victory for him. Thomas Chrysonis getting the helmet off in the cockpit of the number 13 car, and soon he will make his way down to victory lane, of course, for the podium festivities. And I think it's going to be an emotionally charged interview with the number 13 driver when we get down there, because you can see exactly how much this means to him. In fact, I think his car may even be getting beckoned down to victory lane. We have seen the championship car down there on occasion over the years. Martin Dubek is with Andre, so let's go straight down there to Andre and the race winner Dubek after a very, very strong performance.
Yeah, we start, of course, with the race winner, Martin Dubek. You said to me when you stopped, it was a boring race for you. Explain me why.
Yesterday was more fun, so I didn't know what to take. So, after the start in turn 1 it was good. Nobody touched me, was clear. Then I overtook Thomas in turn 2, and then spotter told me it's clear, so I went, and I wanted to enjoy the race, so I enjoyed it, but yesterday it was more fun. So, but yeah, we are back on the victory lane. Totally, I think it's 2nd in the championship, so that's also good. I'm happy for the Thomas. I hope he will invite me for the party. Now I will need it, and now I'm thinking if I will start in pro. I think that not, because I want to see the race, because as me it will be really interesting, the race Ercole with Girelli, so I want to see that.
So you're going to watch the pro race. That's nice to know that Martin is not only the driver, but also the fan that watches the battles that are going on. And from the cockpit, I mean, you have a really nice view there when you're doing the pro race. But 2025 gone. you're not the champion anymore, but the next season it's going to be like this and we're going to be back in Valencia. Will we see you again?
For sure, 2026, for sure I will continue with Hendrix Motorsport. Now it depends on promoter, if I can drive still both categories. If yeah, I would like to drive both categories. If not, I will drive only Pro, but for sure you will see me back on the track next year.
And you know the last thing, you get a sticker. Thanks. The winner, Martin Dubeck.
And now the wrestling with the sticker, I imagine, based on recent form. But Martin Dubeck, delighted with his performances, I think, across the season. It's funny because I did say to him, or I did say during the race that he'd be loving the race, but I did think quietly to myself that actually he'd probably rather be in the midst of battle, because that's the kind of guy Martin is. He does this for the adrenaline rush, for the thrill of competition, and if he doesn't have a battle, it might not be quite as interesting for him. There is the sticker. Slightly misplaced, but he gets it on the car. You saw that embrace as well, of course, with Thomas Chrysonis, which is absolutely wonderful to see. That camaraderie. That's going to do my nut in, seeing that sticker there. Oh, goodness. But great to see Thomas Chrysonis getting that hug and warm embrace and welcome from Martin Dubeck, from the outgoing champion to the new champion. What a beautiful moment that was. Let's go back down to victory lane.
A lot of emotions right here. You did it. You are the 2025 NASCAR Euro Series Open champion.
Yeah, now he's saying it, you know, now that it's true, it's a very weird feeling, you know. We tried a lot, many years in this championship, you know. You were here since the day that we started. Took a lot of effort to keep improving. It's extra emotional for me because it's the biggest success my country has ever seen in motorsport. I'm the first European, the first Greek guy to win a European title. So yeah, I want to thank my sponsors, obviously, because without the help of Costamare and Dodoni, this great achievement wouldn't be possible. I want to thank my personal trainer, Paul Tibas, and my driving coach, Alon Day, for putting me to this level and forcing me to be better every day. My friends, family, and obviously my amazing team, PK Carsport, and especially my crew on the car, Gunther, Bavo, Jarne, Ralph, and which are the people basically that made my machine so fast. So yeah, I have no words, you know, it's, I don't know what to say. You know, it's incredible, just incredible.
How does the party look like?
The first party begins now in the other race, in the Pro. We said to finish the job in this championship so that we can enjoy fully one race, to go without limit, without holding back for nothing. Try to get a podium, maybe a win, but yeah, Vittorio is very fast here, so I would really like to have the final battle with my teammate this year. I would like to play for the win with my teammate. It would be nice to see both hopefully champion also for Vittorio, you know, fighting together. So yeah, this is the goal for now. And then drinking.
And then afterwards the party, okay. I do it again just for you to hear it again. The 2025 NASCAR Euro Series Open champion, Thomas Chrysonis. Back to you, Adam.
What a year for the Greek racer. Congratulations to him. It's great to see just how much it means, the culmination of a long journey. Happiness aboard the truck. Not the seat she'd have liked to be in. Neither the passenger seat nor the seat of a truck was how she thought she'd end her season. Let's go back down to victory lane.
Not the overall win in the Master Trophy, but you're in the top 3. You had a really nice race and a really nice battle. And the first season in NASCAR Euro Series. Just sum up how it feels like.
Yeah, it was amazing year. I want to thank all the people who made it possible and all the Georgian fans who support us every year. And I think that we can come back next year for the championship battle. The race was good. I had good pace, but again, it is very difficult to overtake people. And I think for the first year, it was pretty good, and we will come back stronger.
You know, I have to listen exactly what you're saying. For the first year, next year championship battle. So you plan to come back next year?
Of course, we will come back, and of course, we will fight for the championship.
You have my phone number. When you want to make the confirmation, let me know.
Okay.
Congratulations. Back to you, Adam.
Don't need a phone number when he says it to your face. Great. Yeah, we'll get those details sorted for the Team Georgia guys in the weeks following the season. It's great to hear so much enthusiasm and so much continued dedication to the NASCAR Euro Series down there. Let's go back.
All right.
Sorry, I thought we were getting an instruction to go down, but no, just commenting on quite how many flatbeds there are down in my ear, and yes, it is. There's quite a lot going on down there, but let's now go down to Thomas Stoffel.
I have to say, not the best day yesterday, but you started the Sunday on a really, really good pace with a really strong race. How do you feel?
Oh, I said the pace I have since the beginning of the weekend. Sometimes there is some little details. I think that, yeah, maybe I took not the good decision at the good moment, and it make like a shit Saturday, sorry. And yeah, today I know that I had the pace. So after the good start, I was just to metrize my pace and to finish the race without problem.
I have to ask, of course, are you planning to come back in the 2026 season?
We will see.
We will see. It's not a yes, not a no. Okay.
Yeah.
But if I have to ask this question, and we saw a lot of potential, a lot of pace. The only thing missing was, that's my personal opinion, a little bit the consistency. Do you agree that you have found a little bit more consistency to be really a championship contender in Open?
Yeah, well, for sure, because I changed also my staff at the middle of the season, so it was also a lot of job, not only to drive but to manage something with the new team. But I am really happy to come back with my team, my family, and I'm really better in my head to drive in a good way.
All right, perfect. Thank you so much for the explanation. Congratulations. Back to you, Adam.
Yeah, good to hear there from Thomas Stoffel. He will make it into the top 10 of the championship with his late run of form, moving up to 9th in the point standings. Thomas Chrysonis ultimately winning the championship by 33 points provisionally over Martin Dubek. Let's go down to Gambarotto with Andre.
Yes, I'm here with Valentino Gambarotto. First year of the NASCAR Euro Series in your life, in your career. First time you're standing at the end of the season here. Can you sum up how it was emotionally for you?
Emotionally, it was high. You know, I was so happy to know that I was third when I done the last lap. It was a continued battle with Andre Beers, the #1 car, but in the end I ended up third, and I'm so excited for that. I had some issues with the car because my team changed the setup. We wanted to improve it, but unfortunately the rear wasn't staying on the track. I had some problem with the first turn. I went on the gravel, but you know, happened. I'm very happy that I'm third. Could be better, but I'm very happy.
Are you planning to come back next year to race here again?
Yes, I am. I would like to improve. I have a lot of things to know of the car. I have to understand more the car, how to drive it better, and you know, I'm excited for next year. I hope to do better.
All right, grazie mille, thank you so much. Back to you, Adam, and I hope you have a list a little bit who said, I want to come back 100%, because I have to call them all after this weekend.
Trying my best. You won't like my handwriting, Andre. Thomas Chrysonis, as I said, champion, obviously, as we've heard, but 33 points the margin. Bruno Mulders, the Masters champion, as we discussed, and Melvin de Groot, not just winning the Legend Trophy Championship, but also moving into the overall top 5 in the last race with the dramas for Thomas Dombrowski. So that's a late move back into the top 5 for Melvin de Groot, who at one time, of course, was our overall championship leader, had some great performances during regular season, but then of course when we got to the playoffs, when we got to double points here in the NASCAR Euro Series, he didn't quite have that same hit rate, that same level of success that we'd seen particularly at Brands Hatch in the early stages of the year. Of course, Brands Hatch, one of the familiar ingredients of the calendar that we know is coming back again for 2026. We've confirmed everything but one when it comes to the 2026 calendar. There's one more date left to go, and it's a circuit that we've not seen in the NASCAR Euro Series, which we're very much looking forward to heading to. And the podiums are beginning. So here we are, the overall podium beginning now, or rather this is the, yes it is, this is the race podium with Thomas Chrysonis taking the third step. There are going to be several presentations, of course, here, not just marking the race, but the conclusion of the season as well. But for now, on the top step, it's Martin Dubeck. Let's observe his national anthem.
Congratulations to our top three, Thomas Chrysonis, Thomas Toffel, and Martin Dubeck.
Jason Simmons from NASCAR International will be responsible for this presentation. Thomas Chrysonis receiving the third place trophy in the race, and it's the first of many accolades he's picking up in this presentation. Thomas Toffel on the second step of the podium. I do hope we see him back in 2026. He doesn't sound like he knows fully what he's doing quite yet. But for Martin Dubeck, he's already laser focused on next year with one last winner's trophy to take from the 2025 season. The top three on the podium. It's so nice to see the kind of, I think, stages of realization on the face of Thomas Chrysonis. He's worked long and hard for this. Had a great season in both the Open and the Pro division. At one time, it looked like he could end up being a double champion. Such was his form this year across both divisions. We know he won't win the Pro class this season, but we also know that he is going to be a force to be reckoned with going forward. I wouldn't anticipate his continued presence in Open, given 6 race wins this year, and indeed wins in the Pro division as well, would tell me that he's due an upgrade to be a Pro-only driver, but what a season he's had. Next up, it is the championship podium. This is going to be the big moment for Thomas Chrysonis. He is moments away from receiving the trophy in the Open division. These presentations will be made by Jerome Galpin, the president of the NASCAR Euro Series. Chrysonis, of course, will be on the top step. Martin Dubeck, as we confirmed with that race victory, vice championship status for him, second position. And Bruno Mulders will be the third step of the podium with a little bit of a stumble, makes his way up there. And did put a foot or two wrong during the season, did Mulders, but with the pace, with the raw potential that he has, I think the future seasons for Mulders are going to be quite spectacular. Chrysonis up to the top step, the Open champion. Shakes hands with his championship predecessor, Martin Dubeck, and is again celebrating his championship. Well, with the Greek national anthem observed by a smiling and a tearful Thomas Chrysonis, we now see the championship trophies. Bruno Mulders takes the third step in the championship this year. Martin Dubeck, another highly successful season in the Open division. But here's the big one. For Thomas Chrysonis, it's championship glory. Jerome Galpan putting on a show there, providing the trophy to Thomas Chrysonis. For he and the PK Car Sport team, this is going to be a hugely meaningful moment. That new collaboration for 2025, and there are the tickets to the NASCAR Awards ceremony in Charlotte, North Carolina, where they will get to sit among the legends of the sport from the US NASCAR scene and the Canadian, Brazilian, Mexican championships as well. An international melting pot of the NASCAR community, and our Euro Series top 3 will be there. That was the Pole Award watch given as well to Thomas Chrysonis there by Anne Galpin, the Vice President of the NASCAR Euro Series. Yet another accolade for the champ, Chrysonis. The most pole positions of the year, the most wins of the year as well. It has been a great season from Chrysonis. The only thing he was third place at was getting the cork out of the bottle.
Celebrations here at the Circuit Zolder for top 3 in NASCAR 2025. Next we are.
The top 3 then celebrate with their trophies and commemorate the moment in pictorial form, with the fans standing behind, cheering them on. Gianluca Giulia there, really the engine room of the NASCAR Euro Series media output there, down up on the podium, coordinating everything. And there is the presentation of the Strom watch for the most pole positions, and I reckon that's going to be on his wrist by the time we're on the pro grid later on. He looked very happy with the fact that that was coming his way, and our thanks to stromwatches.com for coming on board this year and creating yet more incentives for our drivers with some wonderful hardware. Next up, it's going to be the Master Trophy presentations in the race. This will be the race podiums for Master Trophy. And on the third step, Valentino Gambarotto, joined by Sandro Tavad-Kilazza, who had a good run there, fighting in the top 5, and Bruno Mulders to the top step, the champion, of course, as well in Master Trophy. He's had a great year for the amateur and the rookie division, which is what Master Trophy is. Certainly the standout rookie of the year has been Bruno Mulders. We see time and time again that the Euro NASCAR takes a bit of learning. Takes a little bit of time to get your head around it, but for Bruno Mulders, he was instantly one of the top contenders in the Open division. And another win in the Masters Trophy today, further solidifying his status, not just as the champion of the division, but as the standout young talent in the paddock at the moment. see someone like Bruno Mulders committing to the NASCAR Euro Series. You see drivers like young Chase Fernandez, who to this point has been up the ladder through karting and junior racing and then Formula 4, just dipping his toe in and having a go at the NASCAR Euro Series. The first objective for Chase in the Pro Division, also with Team Bleekemolen, is absolutely fun. However, I think more and more drivers over here in continental Europe, young talents, are looking at the NASCAR route as a viable pathway for professional motorsport in the Euro Series and then potentially crossing the Atlantic from there. The championship podium now for the Masters Trophy. Thomas Dombrowski, with the issues in that race, unfortunately demoted to third in the Masters points. But still a welcome accolade for him, as he will, I'm sure, be focusing forward to 2026 to continue his growth and development as a driver. And Bruno Mulders on the top step, the champion in Masters Trophy in the NASCAR Euro Series Open Division. Thomas Dombrowski doesn't feel like a shower. Oh, Bruno Mulders with a nice shot there to the side of poor Sandro Tavatkiladze as they celebrate. Bruno Mulders, I'm sure, will be a happy young man. Of course, we'll be focusing forward as well to the Pro Division race a little bit later on. Next up, it will be the Legend Trophy podium. And that will be, of course, the classification for drivers over 40 years old going on there. Mikael Bleekemolen with a late move towards the end of the race for third position in this race. And one last Legend Trophy podium for him this year. Next up, Melvin de Groot will... Claudio Capelli is the winner in this. This is meant to be the race podium that we're doing now, so they've got this back to front. Because Claudio Capelli is the winner in the race. Swap, guys, swap. We do have this a little bit confused because at least on the documentation that I was given, Claudio Capelli was the race winner. Maybe there was a post-race penalty for Melvin that we've missed. That could be the case. That was the race podium. With Mikael Bleekemolen on the third step, we'll do a season presentation for them as well in just a few moments. Just getting confirmation that that is the right way round, but Melvin did claim the last Legend Trophy win of the year, and that's because of the penalty for Claudio Capelli. Of course, there was contact between himself and Andres Beers during the race, so that's why he got a penalty to begin with, and that did mean that he lost out on the final win of the season. Here now is the top three in the championship. Already up there on the podium is Sven van Laar, Claudio Capelli runner-up in the Legend Trophy. And the winner in the championship standings, and of course 5th in the overall championship. A really strong season from Melvin de Groot. I think Claudio Remigio Capelli will be wondering what could have been this year if he hadn't been beset with some poor fortune at the start of the year. I seem to recall that he was outside the top 20 even after a couple of events. Just didn't have any luck in the early stages. But now he's here and celebrating on the podium, and will be looking to fight that man, Melvin de Groot, for the championship in Legend Trophy, I'm sure, in 2026. I have my suspicions that both of those guys will be back. Next up will be the presentation then for Lady Trophy honours, and despite not reaching the checkered flag, Happinessa will be the winner in Lady Trophy. I'm sure she'll be encouraging her fellow female racers to join us in 2026 in the NASCAR Euro Series to fight for the title. Nessa's had a really exciting year on and off the circuit, and will culminate in a championship win in Lady Trophy.
Give her a picture, please. Our winner in female category, the Lady Trophy, and that trophy.
Presentation for the win in the race is made to Happinessa. And then there will be a second trophy as well. So I think that's going to come up and join on the podium as well. Indeed, here comes the championship trophy for the Lady Trophy honours. And a bottle of bubbly to go with it as well. And with that, our podium festivities in the open division are complete. And we will now be switching focus to the all-important trip to the pro race, where it will be an exciting run to the flag. Oh, there you go, bottles open. Nessa and all of the championship winners in the subclasses will be going to the NASCAR annual banquet in Charlotte, North Carolina as well. So that's a really big deal for Nessa, for Melvin de Groot, and for Bruno Mulders. They'll all get to be there among the elites of NASCAR racing around the world. So then, I believe we are now complete with our podiums. We are indeed, and we can now switch focus to the last race of the 2025 season. We've got one more left in us, and it's going to be the Pro Championship Decider. Make sure you join us at 15:10 local time, 3:10 p.m. for Belgian time, as we decide the champions in the last race of the year in the NASCAR Euro Series Pro Division. One last round of applause and one last congratulations to Thomas Chrysonis, who has sealed the title in the Euro NASCAR Open.